On our side, things are getting a little bit nasty, apparently. Ted Cruz and Tucker Carlson, two guys who should probably get along pretty well, right? But they didn't seem to get along when... Is it on Tucker's show? Or was it on Ted Cruz's show?
Tucker's show.
Ted Cruz's office, Tucker's show.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And here's some of what happened there.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. Mm. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like
my gosh.
Theology. I'm confused.
Jeez.
What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Well, hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel.
Point.
And
what does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what? Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the descendants
God's
of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
And by the way, it's not run by Benjamin Netanyahu as a dictator. It's a democratic country that elected...
He's the prime minister,
right?
What?
But just like... America is the country run by Donald Trump. No, actually, the American people elected Donald Trump. The same principle is there.
This is silly. I'm talking about the political entity of modern Israel.
Yes, and that is
You believe
Israel.
That's what God was talking about in Genesis.
And obviously you don't.
But that country's existed since when?
For thousands of years. Now, there was a time when it didn't exist, and then it was recreated just over 70 years ago.
I'm saying, I think most people understand that line in Genesis to refer to the Jewish people, God's chosen people.
Right. That's not what it says.
Okay, Israel, but you don't even know where in the Bible it is.
All right. He was very snarky.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, he had excellent points, but they were drenched in snarky.
Yeah.
And he apologized, actually. It was pretty... So it was an hour and 59 minutes of two guys that were...
So they were on for 2 hours together?
That was the tone for 2 hours.
Yes.
Wow.
From the beginning.
Yeah, it's the tone with everything I've seen from it. I haven't watched the interview in its entirety, but I've seen multiple clips, and yeah, he's nasty the whole time.
From the get-go is
whole
hostile.
Time. Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're being approached that way by the person whose show you're on, then you're going to probably get your back up a bit and be hostile back to them. It was not a good atmosphere that Ted Cruz walked into there.
A lot of good memes came out of that interview.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I heard Ted was doing some of them, and he didn't look really great in these little clips, so I don't know. I might have kept that to myself.
Yeah, I think Ted Cruz is going to be smarting from this conversation
for a while,
for a very long time.
Yeah. I mean, when you go on to Tucker's show, but I mean, he's in Ted Cruz's office, but he's basically in Tucker territory. You better be really prepared for what you're about to receive.
And I'll say this, Ted was prepared because he did bring receipts to push back on Tucker Carlson newsletter, Tucker Carlson tweets. He did have that, but that was at the end of the interview.
Oh, really?
So it was very interesting, but it was just a lot of hostility from both sides.
Yeah, a lot.
From the get-go.
Yeah. And here's more of it.
So I've never taken money from the Israel lobby. Have you?
Taken money from the Israel...
From AIPAC.
So AIPAC raises a lot of money for me, but it's actually a misnomer because the people who raise money are individuals. Right. So it's not the PAC itself, but they're individual members who believe in the American-Israeli friendship
Is
and
AIPAC
relationship.
a foreign lobby?
Pause it.
No, it's an American.
That makes it really hard when you start bringing money into it and who's donating to your campaigns and all that. Then you've brought it into a different level now, right? Because it's not just your feelings about Israel, your feelings about whether or not it's biblical Israel that we're talking about here. It's, okay, they're supporting you financially. That makes it look bad.
Yeah, and I don't think that Ted Cruz handled the AIPAC question well at all.
Not
I think it was the
at
weakest.
all.
In a 2-hour interview of low points for both men, but especially Ted. I think it was style with Tucker more than anything.
And again, it's too bad. Ted Cruz is a great U.S. senator. Are you trying to diminish his capacity here? What is your goal, Tucker? What is the goal here? To slap down Ted Cruz, to make him look really bad? I don't understand it. I really don't get it, but there's more.
No, it's an American lobby. It's the AIPAC stands for the America-Israeli Political Action Committee.
What does it lobby for?
So, to be honest, not a whole lot effectively. Listen, I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. AIPAC, a lot of times, AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking what AIPAC does. My understanding, having known a lot of people who work at AIPAC, is that it lobbies on behalf of the Israeli government.
Wrong.
Oh, okay.
It's objectively
when was the last time AIPAC took a position that deviated from Prime Minister Netanyahu?
All the time.
Name one.
Okay. Let me go back and give a little history. If you want to do a deep dive on AIPAC,
I don't. I want to do a shallow dive that gets.
No.
I want to get to the core question. AIPAC is lobbying for a foreign government, and I don't. It's not.
No.
It's lobbying for the United States.
It is lobbying for a strong U.S.-Israeli relationship.
Okay. So it's not has nothing to do with the foreign government.
It wants America and Israel to be closely allied.
Okay, but it's lobbying on behalf of the interests of another country.
So that's not true at all. And if
it's not true.
No.
How much contact do you think AIPAC leaders have with the government of Israel?
No idea. I imagine some. I think the government of Israel is often frustrated with AIPAC because AIPAC's not nearly strong enough.
Do you think there's any coordination between the government of Israel and AIPAC?
Do they talk? Sure. If you're lobbying for more U.S.-Mexico trade, would you talk to people in the U.S. and Mexico and the government? Sure. Like if...
So I'm not mad about that. There are a million countries that lobby Washington. I like a lot of those countries, including Israel.
But AIPAC are Americans. They're not Israelis.
Hold on. There are tons of Americans who lobby on behalf of foreign governments. I know them. I'm related to some of them. I know how it works. I'm from here. So my question is not, is it outrageous that foreign governments lobby the United States? They all do, okay, including Israel. My only question is, why don't we admit that is what's happening? You're denying it, but it's true.
Yeah,
and why
what you're saying is false.
Why aren't they registered as a foreign lobby?
Because they're not.
Okay.
Because they're not.
Okay. Wow.
Again, I mean...
Wow.
If Tucker Carlson lost on style, Ted Cruz lost on substance. Mm-hmm. And I think that in the end, Ted Cruz is the one that ended up looking worse after a 2-hour chat.
Yeah, I don't think it did either one of them any favors, though. I really don't. I mean, his approach here is nasty. And I don't understand it, really. I mean, he claims he likes Israel. It sure didn't seem like it. It sure doesn't sound like it. And obviously, he doesn't want anything to do with military assistance to Israel. But you can approach that in a, I don't know, kinder, gentler way. But especially since we're both conservatives, we're both on the same side, essentially. Let's have a decent discussion without the animus involved. Is that possible? I don't know. I think it is. I think you can. When I was filling in for Stu yesterday, we had Sean Davis on from The Federalist, and I think I think there's a little bit of a disagreement between Glenn and Sean, and it was a great discussion for half an hour, and they got along just fine. Neither one of them had to be snarky with the other, and so I think it's possible. In fact, I know it is, but he wasn't interested in that. Tucker was not interested in that, and it's too bad that Ted didn't know going in that this was going to be a hostile interview. I'm sure he thought like liberals do when they go on CNN and then they're suddenly questioned about something they didn't expect. That seems to be what happened here. He thought he was coming into friendly territory, but he wasn't. 888-900-3393 with your thoughts. I'd like to know how you feel about this interview and how you feel about the Israeli situation. And where do we go from here? What should we do now? Do we do nothing? Do we just allow Israel to take care of this and see what happens? Or do we make sure that the job is done, and do we drop that massive ordinance, the only thing that can get the job done at the Fort Dow?